G'day. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I've got a very interesting shave and update for everybody watching. Um, so I'm going to be shaving with the Gamechanger 0.84mm blade gap, a brand new Personna blade, the Israeli Reds, Zingari Man Magician. There's a reason why I've chosen this, and I'll talk a little bit more. Thayer's Rose Petal Witch Hazel, the Yaqi synthetic black with the pearl brush, and just Prorasso green tea and oat. So I'll load up the Gamechanger with the new Personna blade and let's have a chat. So last night at 1:30 in the morning, sorry, I've only had 2 hours sleep. My wife tells me that her waters have broken. So I get up and they had certainly broken her waters, and she wasn't having any contractions, so the baby was not, how can I say, there was no contractions. So we rang up the hospital. Hospital said to the midwife, come in. So we went to the hospital, monitored for about 2 hours between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. and then said it was safe to return home after they ran a few tests and monitored the baby. And we've got a booking appointment at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's nearly 6 p.m. on in the evening now. So yeah, I've just been taking care of my wife, and she started to have irregular contractions, but the contractions have started. But when she had the water that broke last night, she was having no contractions, but they just wanted to make sure everything was safe, so they double checked and kept her in for observation. So tomorrow morning, if we have to be at the hospital at 6 a.m, so we'll wake up probably about 5 if it doesn't happen already, if her contractions don't speed up, and we'll head in there and they'll probably give her some oxytocin, the Centocin drip, and that will just get her contractions more regular. So definitely the baby's coming today or tomorrow. So thank you so much. And that's why I've chosen the Magician. So this Magician is really amazing, mysterious scent, and we don't know what the mystery is yet, whether we've got a boy or girl. And so that's the reason why I've chosen this. And it's got orange blossom, fern, oak moss, and it has this beautiful mysterious smell that's it's just really gorgeous. And so yeah, God is the greatest magician of all, and his mysteries are probably more amazing than any of us could possibly realize. So I think, you know, the mystery of the boy or girl is going to be a fun discovery for us, and terribly exciting. And I'm going to try to catch some sleep. But I've just put this into the bowl, and I'm just going to spread that soap on the bottom of the bowl to do a bowl and brush lather. Sorry if I'm a bit slow, but I'm also going to cover the topic of how long should you leave the lather on your face for, and does leaving the lather on the face soften up the beard much, and what I think. So let me just wet the face and I'll be back in like a tick. Okay, so I've just wet the face and I've just made the brush damp. I'm getting a bit tongue-tied. It's so tired. And I have the soap smeared on the bowl. I'm going to make the lather now. So the question is, how long should you leave the lather on your face for? And so this is my opinion. And so this is going to be very variable, and what works for you may not work for me or may not work for another person. But there are some truths that can be spoken about, and some of my experiences which can be very helpful for other people and what I think. So the first thing is that moisture is the most important thing, and hydrating the whiskers prior to the cut. The more the whiskers are hydrated and the warmer they are, the more they're going to absorb. So applying water to the face and warm to hot water is going to be the single greatest thing that you can do to make it easy to cut the hair that's on your face for the razor blade. It will also be easier on the razor blade, and so it's obviously, if you're cutting dry stubble, it's going to present a lot more resistance, and it's going to damage the edge a lot more quickly of the razor blade. So always, you know, put water, warm to hot water on the face is my suggestion, to soften these bristles up as much as possible, so you get all your whiskers nice and soft. I normally shave after my shower, which is really helpful. Next is how much oil is on your face. So the amount of oil that's on your face is really variable, and what you're doing is you're adding a soap to oil. Now if you think about putting, how can I say, you've got an oily pan and you only put 1 drop of soap on that pan, you're not going to get rid of the oil that's on the pan. So what happens with oil and water is that it forms an emulsification, because you've got the detergent, the micelles, bonding with the oil, and the same thing that's happening on the oils on your face. So you've got competing elements, and if you have really oily skin and facial stubble, it's a good idea to wash your face first with a face wash, especially if you want that slickness. This whole idea of pre-oils and things like that, using an oil and a soap with competing elements. Now the skin does absorb the oil, while say a fry pan that you're an oily fry pan that you're rinsing out, it won't absorb the oil. But you are going to have that, how can I say, antagonistic effect between the oil and the soap. So how long should you leave soap on your face for? And the answer is, you know, first of all, soften up your skin with warm to hot water. The second thing is, if your face is very oily, you're going to have to use a lot more soap, especially for that first pass, because you're going to be emulsifying those oils on your face. And so that's really important to understand that element of it. The next thing is that after you've applied the soap onto your face, soap dries on the skin. So if I just leave soap on my skin like this, eventually that's going to dry and the soap will no longer have that slickness to it. Okay, so then you need to re-moisten it and rework that lather, because what we're looking for is, number 1, cushion on the skin, and number 2, razor glide. And they are different. There is a difference between cushion and razor glide, and I'll give you an example. The oil will absorb into the skin and may give the skin cushion, whilst the lubricating soap is going to cause that razor to glide over that base. So that's the difference between cushion and the razor glide. For me, I think that they're very similar, near identical, but there is a slight difference. So the next thing is, well, if you've washed your face and you've worked in the lather, what we're really trying to do is we're trying to protect the skin. We're not really, the whiskers are less important than the skin, because it's the skin that's the most important factor in terms of what we're trying to protect. And what I try to do is I try to work the lather into the skin as well as over the whiskers. And the reason why is because I'm looking for razor glide. But as you can see, simply applying lather, it can become pasty. And some people ask me, do I like a pasty lather? And the answer is, it depends on the product. So your experience with the product and what works for you will vary. For me, the most important thing is not the thickness or the amount of foam, it's the amount of slickness. And I don't mind a pastier lubrication, as long as I've got that slickness, and as long as it's embedded somewhat into my skin. Now, there are soaps like Arco, for example, and Arco contains edredonic acid, and edredonic acid does soften the bristles, okay? but it is extremely caustic. So I wouldn't recommend having Arco on the skin for any long length of time. So don't apply, I wouldn't say apply it and then go and do something and then come back to it and start working it up with a bit more moisture. Just because it strips too much of the oils of the skin, it starts to eat away at some of the skin as well. And so you can end up having a very, very drying effect on the skin. And that's why a good post balm is essential when wet shaving, just to protect the skin, because we are stripping oils by using this. So this for me, it's fine. It's a beautiful scent. And the reason why I'm night shaving serendipitously is because I want the baby to see me clean shaven. I want daddy to be seen as he's going to be seen throughout the rest of his life. And because I like to shave, I like to be clean shaven. I know many people say that they like the beard, they prefer the beard, which I've had a lot of comments on that. But I like to be clean shaven. Okay, so just using the Gamechanger with a Personna for a wonderful shave with the Magician, and let's go. So the most important thing is hydration of the whiskers, cushion and that lubricating razor glide. So that's why, for me, sometimes I'll work the lather with my fingers, just to make sure that you've got that really worked in. So you get that wonderful razor glide, and then I'll just paint it on. And if it's not moist enough, or I don't feel like it has enough lubrication, you can simply work the lather to the consistency by adding more water, or by, adding less water next time. For me, I like a slightly thicker lubricating lather. Now, not to say that you can't have a wetter lather. Some people like a much wetter lather. And I know with products, say like the Captain's Choice, look at this, how efficient this razor is. It's just wonderfully efficient. With the Captain's Choice, you can use that, and even Arco, you can use that quite thin. Although Arco produces voluminous amounts of soap, foam. It's funny, when my wife told me that her water had broken, I felt like my heart stopped beating. Yeah, such a flood of emotions and thoughts and preparation and mind on the job. And the hospital was absolutely great. So that's my first pass today. Obviously, I'm really tired, so I'm not paying huge amounts of attention to what I'm doing. But we'll pick up the rest of that hair on the second and third passes and make sure that Daddy is going to see Bubby nice and clean. That way Bubby recognizes Dad. So exciting. I've had a lot of phone calls from mates and family. We've been on the phone a lot. And usually for the second and third passes, you've already got that residual slickness that's on the skin. So it's not usually necessary to add huge amounts of foam to the face. Really what you're just looking for is having enough lubrication on the face to protect the skin and to allow that razor to cut only the hair. Okay, we're good to go. Second pass now. So I generally don't leave the lather for excessively long time on my face. I don't feel that it softens the bristles, the whiskers that much. And the primary job of the cream and soap is primarily to keep the whiskers hydrated and for that razor glide and to protect the skin. So I would say if you find the lather drying up, you've left it on for too long and you need to re-moisten it more than once, you know. Cool. Okay, we'll pick everything up on that third pass now. Just have a little bit of a weeper underneath here. Just have a feel for what else needs to be done, especially that I'm quite fatigued. Alright, here we go. So right now it's Monday, probably about 6:30 now, and in 12 hours we'll be in the birthing unit ready to go. I'm going to need some more soap. Geez, I'm so tired. My hands are slippery. But let's do the video nonetheless. And it's interesting. So I made the night shaving video, I think it was 3 videos ago, where I was talking all about night shaving and what are the reasons why some men shave at night. And some men, like myself, will shave at night so they can present themselves to their newborn baby with a clean shaven face. Yeah, it's a beautiful scent, this one, but the lubrication and the cushion, it's more about the scent for this one. I'd say the lubrication is, you know, just a little above average. Let's apply. And when I need to, I'm not going to be stingy. Just take out a dab more soap and rework up a bit more lather. It smells so wonderful. Alright, let's go for that third pass. I think there's a couple of important shaves that one can do in their life, you know, births, deaths and marriages, and this is one of the important ones. They're going for it. And why don't I shave at 4:30 in the morning? And the answer is the baby could come any moment. My sister-in-law, her contractions were slow and then all of a sudden it just sped up. Yeah, and I'm really working that shave today because I want to kiss Bubby still. And that's another reason why, you know, to do that 3-pass shave. And to really work it and refine it. And so when shooting for that BBS and knowing how to get there, the shave will last me a lot longer. So depending on what time Bubby's born, Daddy should have a cleaner facer for longer. So I'm just using the rose petal witch hazel, just because it's more pleasant than the ordinary witch hazel. It has a beautiful scent. And it's just so mild and gentle and not too offensive for the baby, just in case I have any smell on me and I want to be low scent. So now the Prorasso. Get a nice dab for Dad. That is, wow. Check it out. Good to go. So I wish myself luck on your behalf, because the next video I'll definitely be a daddy. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.